My name is Lovell. I'm head of the digital department in ARRI Media Rental in London, and also have a watching brief for ARRI on digital camera developments. And this is our new ARRI D21 camera, the successor to the D20. D20 has been in use for 2 or 3 years now in rental. Been very successful, a lot of high-profile projects shot with it. But we've introduced at the NAB the new model D21, which uses the same body and the same sensor as the D20, but we've made a number of significant improvements to it. In fact, it is an upgrade to the D20, so all the existing D20s in service are being modified and upgraded progressively to the D21 status. So the principal changes are that the camera has a even lower noise level from the sensor, which has enabled us to use a higher sensitivity setting. So the sensitivity in HD mode of the camera can now extend between 100 and 800 ASA equivalent, as you select in the menu. If you like, when we're for example shooting in log HD mode or in data mode, which is the other thing we're majoring on here at the show, I'll go into that in a moment, we regard the sort of base sensitivity of the sensor as 200.
200, okay.
But then certainly in the data mode of working, you certainly have the option to, if you like, pull or push process, if you like, in post, equivalent of doing that in the lab, to the extent of the range from 100 to 800. The key features really of the D21, of course, continue to be the fact that we're using 35mm film lenses. We have our single CMOS sensor, which is the same size as the Super 35 frame, 4:3 aspect ratio, and we have our optical viewfinder, exactly similar to the design of optical viewfinders in Arriflex film cameras, which means the operator gets a really good image to focus and compose by, and that's extremely important. The optical side of the camera, lenses, mirror shutter, viewfinder is really, in many ways, the heart of the camera, and of course the digital electronics are key components as well. So in the D21, as well as upgrading the sensitivity of the camera, we've also provided what we call automatic defect pixel correction. And this is a system which is operating all the time when the camera is running, checks every field, every frame, if you like, whilst the shutter is closed, for any defective pixels, and if it finds any defective pixels, it corrects them in real time automatically.
On a frame-by-frame basis?
On a frame-by-frame basis.
Wow.
So that even at 60 frames per second, which is the maximum speed of the camera, it's able to operate at that rate. And that means that there will never be any defective pixels visible on the output of the D21 camera. Now this camera is set up here, in fact, to work in what we call our data mode. D21 has 2 distinct modes of working. HD mode, in which we output a standard HD signal to record on any HD format recorder that you prefer. We tend to use the Sony HDCam SR tape format, and that's been very successful. A lot of productions have been shot that way. But we also have the flash mag, which is shown on the camera here. This is a solid state magazine. You can store up to 10 minutes in 444, 15 minutes in 422, in HD mode.
So how many gigabytes are we talking?
That's 112 gigabytes.
Okay.
Well, the other, to be honest, apart from the increased sensitivity and the active defect pixel correction, the other things are really very minor. They're little refinements we've added, like, for example, the standard definition output of the camera, which is always there, whether you're shooting data mode or HD mode, we always have 2 outputs with PAL or NTSC standard definition video on them, and that's where we see our menus. And in this case, we're seeing the range of exposure index that's possible in HD mode from 100 right way through to 800, or one of our log modes. We'll come out of that for the moment. You noticed that I was manipulating that with this video menu control knob on the back of the camera, but there have been times we've discovered where that can get pushed by mistake. So what we've now done is to incorporate a facility that the lock switch on the front of the camera, that's locked, now also locks the menu control so you can't accidentally make a change to the setting on the camera.